Going to see now Be'ez Hashem Yisborach Maseches Niddah Daf Yud Amud Beis. We're starting from the Gemara Reb Zeira Reb Yehuda B'Shem Rav. The Gemara says this is quite a complicated Gemara. I mean, the way it's written here is very hard, so I'll have to change some things, and then we can understand it better. It says like this: Toilan Shilya Vevlad At Shloisha Yom. You can attribute the placenta to the baby up to 3 days. What does this mean? It means that once it's 3 days after the baby came, the placenta came, we say it's a different baby. It's not the same. It's not part of the first baby. That's called a baby A, and the shilya is B. So we cannot say that the placenta belongs to A. Another statement, he said, "Ve'ein avlad mishtol acher chaveiroi shloisha yomim," and there's no such thing that one baby should come 3 days after the first one. The statement is supposed to be that if there's a baby A born, then baby B usually comes within 3 days. These are seemingly they're unrelated statements. But now the Gemara is going to ask a question. Omer B'Zeira, Man Demar Hada, Omer Hada. The one that said this, how can you say such a thing? Isn't these two things arguing on each other? So let's understand what he's asking here. He's asking that these two statements, what does it mean? The first statement is that you only hang the placenta until 3 days. So if it came out after 3 days, you say it's two separate babies. And then you say that no such thing. A baby cannot come out 3 days afterwards. A baby does not come out after his friend more than 3 days apart. So I'm going to write here to understand. Halacha gim yomam. Halacha gimel. Yesh kan vlad chodesh. Hoshilya, I'm going to make more specific here, you should understand. Hoshilya Rabbah is going to answer like this. Omer Rabbah, Oikmer Rav Yehuda B'Shem Rav. He explains like this. Hein dat Omer Toil Shilya Bavlad At Shloisha Yomim. This is what that you say. So I'm going to change Kshiyotza Havlat Chila. Kshiyotza Havlat Chila. And you'll see why I change it. The fact that you say that you toiled the placenta and the baby until 3 days is in a case where Kshiyotza Havlat Chila. When first the baby came out. First the baby, then the placenta. So we say that only till 3 days. More than that, it's a different baby. The second statement that you say that it never comes out more than 3 days afterwards. Shiyotza shilyot chila. Shiyotza shilyot chila. So let's explain this. What does this mean? In a case where the Vlad, the baby came out first, so we say within 3 days, okay, this is part of the original baby. It's called baby A, and then 2.5 days later we had a placenta. This placenta belongs to baby A. Then what is the din if it took more than that? It's a new baby. If the placenta came out 3 days later, no, it's a new. But the other statement that we say that if the placenta came out first and then later on we had a Vlad, so if it's 3 days later, we say that it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then we say Oz afilu yotzo havlad achar gim yomim toiln ashilya bivlad, and that is also equals to the statement that ein avlad mishtar, that ein avlad mishtar. So we don't say it's two babies. Equals ein So this is what it means. In a case where the Shilya came out first, even the Vlad came out after 3 days, we say no, this is part of the baby, and that also is said in different words, in a different language. That Ein Vlad Mishtar, that means don't think it's two separate babies. It's Chod Vlad Yashkan. It's an interesting language, but that's the best way we can understand this, because we'll see the language of the Gemara. Omer Abmana V'yos Ilala Ataya Nafkin Kadmar. This weak people came out first by Melchama. Chanama Efshe Yetza Shilya V'shtor Avlad. Ilala Ataya Nafkin Kadmar. By a war, first you send out the weak people, and then it can take a few days till the strong ones come. And the same idea, Rabbi says, Niftach legadol, niftach lekatan. If it's open the door for a big man, for sure it's open for a small man. But if it's open for a small man, then niftach legadol. Not necessarily open for a big man. So this is the same idea, that if the shilya comes out first, it's a weak thing. Doesn't mean the door is open. It could be that it can take another 4 or 5 days till the baby comes out. And then this is the statement that said that in avlad mishtar, that it doesn't come out two babies. That's a statement what we said, that Eina Isha if it's 3 days apart, Toina Shilya bevlad at shloisha yomim, be'eina vlad mishtor la'achar chaveiro shloisha yomim. It means that the baby does not, if it's more than 3 days, it must be one thing. Must be one baby. That's that statement. It cannot be two separate babies because it doesn't take so long. So, and this statement is said that what? That if you have a shilya first and then 4 days later we have a vlad, we say don't think it's two separate babies. No. It could be it was open a very small door and the shilya came out, and then 4 days later the vlad came out. However, if the vlad came out and then the shilya, then we say the first statement. Up to 3 days makes sense because the door was open already for the big baby. After 3 days, we say it's a different baby. Okay, this is the explanation of this Gemara. It's quite confusing and complicated, but repeated a few times, you'll see the meaning of this statement, how it works out very well. Shimon says, Nimoi kavlat achele yotza. Shimon says that it's not matame if he comes out on a house, if the woman is sitting in a house and the shilya comes out, you don't have to, the house does not become tamei. Why? Because the baby became dissolved before it came out. For sure the mother becomes tummy. Whenever it comes, it's a separate, it's two issues. The house is not tummy because it got dissolved, but the mother is tummy because she had a baby. That has nothing to do if it's dissolved or not. Don't you agree that if you took out this pail from the inner chamber to the outer chamber, that the outer chamber is tar? In other words, once you drag this pail and you mush it around, you push it around, then for sure it becomes nisbatel, becomes nullified, the baby, and it's not matami, the outer room. Because it got tarif, it got shaken up. Even right away when it comes out, it's already shaken up. So the only argument is if in this inner chamber where they brought the baby out in a pail, if that's already considered that it's shaken up. So the question is, according to the Rabbanon, what is the din if there are certain vessels in the house, in the inner chamber? Not they were brought inside there a minute later. They were there in the same moment when the baby came out. Do we also say that the second it came out was already, it's considered like it's messed up and it's mixed up and it's shaken up, and that's why it's not tummy? Or only if you bring in a minute later kalim, then we say that it's not tummy because now it's already mixed up. So Gemara said, we can prove this from this. The Tanin and Talmud we learn the Masechta B'Chayres. To cover, it gave out a certain ball of blood. That means it had a baby. So we say that it's potter from B'Chayra. However, that ball of blood is not metame b'masa, even though there's a dead animal there. That's usually nevela metame b'masa. Rabbi Yochanan said on this, they both agree to the same statement that that anything that's mixed up and messed up with a lot of other stuff becomes bottle, becomes nullified, and that's why it's not metame. Because we see from this that even the guy right away picked it up, that bag, when the animal gave birth, it's not matame. So we see it's not only a minute later when it gets mixed up, it's right away from the first moment it's not matame. So we see that according to Reb Shimon said that it's toir. You have to go to Reb Shimon. We should add this to understand that this question is according to Reb Shimon. According to Reb Shimon, it's not a problem at all. Talk the Mishnah. This is the last Mishnah of Masechtas Niddah. Zog the Mishnah. Hamapeles tumtum bandroigans. If a woman gives birth, it means miscarriage. Mapeles means miscarriage. She who produces a tumtum, an offspring without discernible sexual characteristics, or androgyny, an offspring with the traits of both sexes. She has to sit for a zocher and a keva. It means she has 14 days of tumah and only 26 days of tahara. Tumtum is zocher, androgynous is zocher. Teish is zocher and a keva. She sits for a zocher and a keva because she has, maybe it's in a keva. She has 14 days of tumah. Tumtum and a keva, androgynous and a keva. Teish and a keva b'vat, because she gets the benefits of an akeva. She gets the 66 days of Yimei Tahara. She had an akeva also. She had a female. Yatzam mechutach mesuras. if it came out in pieces, if it had emerged in pieces or feet foremost, came out the feet first, then we say that as long as we have the greater part of has to come down out, and then it's considered like it's born. If it came out in the regular, then it's enough if the majority of the head comes out with the greater part of his head. And what is the greater part of his head? Once its forehead has come forth, then it's considered like that moment is considered that she gave birth, and that's from there she starts counting her days of Tumah and Tahara. Hamapelas when you do mahu, if she gave birth and she doesn't know what it is, if it's a boy or a girl, then she has to sit for Zocher and a cave, a male or female. When you do it in Vladhu, if you don't even know if it's a baby at all, if it's a human, then she sits. Also, for Niddah means she does not get any clean days, because maybe it's not even a human. If she miscarries in the 40th day of the pregnancy, it's not considered yet a baby. Because we don't know what it is. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's not a human. When it comes to a girl, it takes at least 80 days till the girl forms. So she doesn't have to worry about tumah of an akeva only if she miscarried the 80th day of her pregnancy. It's not true. Both of them, all the same in the process of formation of the male and female, both are completed on the 41st day. What does it mean? You find in the Mishnah these words. It means Yudala Tamem Chavav Toher. Nasna Chumra Zacher Chumra Lekeva. That means when it comes to with her house, it means to living with her husband. But Tahara is Teshel and Akeva. When it's concerning regarding Taharas, clean Truma, she cannot touch Truma until the 80th day. Maybe it's in a cave and she has to sit, she has to wait till the 80th day till she can touch Truma. Tumtum is Zacher, Androgynos is Zacher, Teishel is Zacher, and a cave, Cheshim is Zacher. Tumtum and a cave, Androgynos and a cave, Teishel and a cave, Vad and Cheshim is Zacher. There's nothing what to say about a Zacher here, because she anyway has to sit 14 days of Tumah, and she gets also 66 days of Tahara, because she had an Akeva. The Omer Yod is an Akeva, and Akeva is Zacher, Teishel and Akeva. Means, if there's a boy and a girl, then for sure, the girl is the one that matters here, because there's for sure 14 days of Tumah, and also for sure 66 days of Tahara. Mahu is asking a question now. A chopped up fetus, the head of which emerged. What is the rule? So the Mishnah said, Mishnah wasn't so clear if it's alive or it's even if it's not alive, but it's not cut up, it's not chopped up, then we say the head is considered giving birth. But if it's chopped up, maybe the head is not considered an important part, and then you need to have maybe the majority. Rabbi Yasa said on this issue is Palgan Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Blazer. Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Blazer argue. Rabbi Yochanan Omar Rosh Kerubai, that it's still considered like majority. Once the head comes out, even though it's chopped up, it's deemed like its majority it came out. Blazer Omer Roishoy Ke'echad Me'avaref. No. Once it's chopped, the head has no importance anymore, just like a hand or a foot, and then you need a majority. So the head alone is not sufficient. It says in the Mishnah, Yatsa Mechutach Misturas. Rabbi Yochanan says that the head is enough, but it says in the Mishnah that if it came out chopped, then we say it's not enough the head. We need to have rubai. No. Mishnah means that if the head did not come out, the other parts of the body, then we say you need to have rubai. I guess if it's chopped up, then the head doesn't come first. It's like, it doesn't mean the head, maybe other parts come first. So the Mishnah says you need to have a majority, because usually in such a case, the head is not going to be first. But Einochanami, it's true that if the head would be first, then even if it's chopped, it's still considered birth. That's what Rabbi Yochanan says, Rosh Kerubai. Masnita pliga pliga al Rabbi Yochanan. It says in the Mishnah, if it came out on the normal, if it emerged in the normal way, it is deemed fully born when the greater part of the head has emerged. So we can make a diuk from that Haresha Amra Reisha Leiklum. Only when it comes out normal, then we say the head is enough. But when it's mechutach and it's chopped up, the head is not enough. That we can make such a diuk from the Mishnah. More answers on that. Pasalah b'shayatza mesuras. It came out not the right direction. Came out from the came out with the feet first. So then we say that yotze kedarkoi achiyete rav roishay. It means the Mishnah is trying to say that if it came out masuras, it's not. Doesn't mean mechutach is not good. When he uses the language yotze kedarkoi, it doesn't mean yotze kedarkoi la'afuki, that if it came out chopped. Yotze kedarkoi achiyetzer rav roishay means if it's masuras, then it's not roishay, because you need most of the body. Let's see the language of the Mishnah here. Yotze kedarkoi means lafuki, so that's what you're supposed to say here. That pasalo that milas kedarkoi osi la'afuke doesn't mean that lafuki chopped. It comes lafuke if it comes out feet first. This argument, if the head is chopped, if it's considered roiv, is a machlekes between Rabbi Yochanan says considered roiv, and Rabbi Shoker says no. Rabbi Yochanan, Shem ben Lakish Rabbi Lazar. Shem ben Lakish holds like Rabbi Lazar that roishay is considered nothing if it's chopped. Zeir showed the greater part of the head associates the forehead and the skull. That's considered Roiv Roisha, the forehead and the skull. Okay, now there's a certain part here that belongs not here, just added in the end of the Masechta. Shaykh Leider, Meir Oimer, Meir says, Yolda min Chaya, Reiz of Vlad. Malama Tanina, B'chayres, Sha'afla, Meir Bo Acha Behema, Hava B'chayr Lanachla. Why does Meir say that if somebody is born after an animal, it's considered B'chayr for inheritance? Hat mit der Weg am Lielbar, and a liar boy came Ramon and McKeven, that Omer Vlad, who Ma'ata Bo Acha, and B'chayr Lanachla, the Kohen. If according to a mayor, an animal is considered a baby when it comes to regarding Tumah, so why shouldn't we say the same thing when regarding inheritance, that the one that comes after the animal was born should be considered the B'chayr, firstborn, for inheritance? If the animal didn't come out alive, just like a baby it's not born alive, then we say that it's not considered anymore b'chayr. It's still considered b'chayr nachla, because one that comes after a nafel, after a miscarriage, is still considered a b'chayr. Now this belongs to Masechta Chulin. The skull of a bird that became smashed, most of it. Also the gargaris of the oif. A golet. Also, there's only a tiny hole in the gullet. He said, what do you want? Don't we know that's not an issue? Baruch Hashem, we finished now. This is today's Chaf Ba'omer Tov Shin Pei Vav. And Baruch Hashem, we finished now Masechtas Niddah, and that's the end, the last Masechta on Yerushalmi, and hopefully we'll start Masechta Brachas again. This is the end. This is Daf Yud Amud Beis.